world is ginormous, possessing 3,959 miles of surface area. But bigger than the size of the world are the questions that it raises. Like, when did the universe get created? Why is toilet bowl cleaning liquid only blue? If heat rises, then shouldn't hell be cold? If a fork were made of gold, would it be considered silverware? But the question of life that was most difficult for me to answer was, what is my purpose? What am I here to do? And in fact, I stumbled upon this answer accidentally. Accidents can be beautiful. Being raised in Chicago, or Chirac as some have coined because the murder rate exceeded that of Iraq one year, was not a cakewalk. The walk on a typical Chicago avenue did not consist of any cake, and witnessing and or experiencing pain or suffering was a normalcy. We, those in Chicago, were forced to take on a systemic desensitization of violence, torture, and hardship. We do not flinch at the sight of it, however we are very cautious to do our best to avoid it for our own survival. The way I avoided the surrounding area was getting involved in engineering. I played with kids and read science books, but what stood out most to me as a kid was programming. At the age of 10, I received a software kit that allowed me to make video games. Since going outside to an environment riddled with bullies and violence was not a preferred activity of mine, I spent much of my time using my Game Maker program. Finally, roughly 5 months into tampering with my Game Maker program, I created my first game. It was a first-player shooter where the player would shoot aliens to rack up points. Shortly after creating that game, I moved to a suburb and quickly made a ton of friends. My new heavily active social life caused me to stop creating games, and the question of what is my purpose hung over me like a dark cloud that spat lightning bullets of anxiety over its victims. Beautiful accidents don't always start out beautiful. Answers are not always expected, and the appetizer of an answer isn't always great. But I'll tell you this, don't leave the restaurant until you get the main course. It may be delicious, and it isn't the main course why you came to the restaurant in the first place. It was my junior year of high school, and as I goofed off and had a great time with now lifelong friends, the question of what's my purpose in life constantly loomed over my head. I thought, prayed, and screamed for an answer, but still for 16 years, no answer of what to do. Or at least that the answer wasn't clear to me. Still, junior year, I decided to take AP Computer Science to get another math credit. I wanted 5 credits instead of 4 because I'm not a fan of even numbers. The first few weeks of the course I struggled, like all F's on all my assignments. But as I struggled, I noticed a deep love and passion for it all inside. A love for the fact that what I said or wrote was executed. I usually don't get what I want, but when I'm programming, the computer must do what I say when I compile my code, assuming my syntax is correct and the program is free of runtime errors. Maybe my passion, my purpose, is lied somewhere in an old childhood hobby, I thought, and I started to take computer science seriously. I came in after school every day and I got help with my homework, and not too long after changing my ethic, I ended up receiving a high B, and I began to complete the daily programming challenges super fast. I passed the class with a high B, and I passed the AP Computer Science exam. I then went to make a few apps, although I have not published them yet. So, I had a passion. Great. But I knew God didn't put me here to do a passion that had no positive effect on others. My senior year of high school, I took on a more formal project that considered how an application could increase opportunities for intergenerational relationships in order to reduce social isolation among the elderly. So basically, old people playing games with younger people to give them some new fun and to give kids some useful wisdom. I was guided by my mentor Lana Yorosu, who took a chance in me and ultimately helped me see that my passion for programming could help others. During the prototype testing of my application, hearing things like, I would use this with my grandpa who is far away, or this is the coolest thing ever, or I would use this to keep in touch with my mom while she's in the hospital right now, by the children users, and I would use this with my distant daughter. Most awesome thing I've ever done with technology. and I wish I had this to talk to my grandson by the older users truly melted my heart. It revealed a lot of things to me about life, but for the sake of time, I will mention my main takeaway. It showed me that what everyone's true purpose is on this planet is to love people genuinely and always be there for people. You never know what someone else is going through, and to be a true friend to everyone you meet and actively seek out ways to build people up can change the world and the life of the person you're building up. Much of this I learned from my mentor who never gave up on me and always believed in me. I hope to show this same love to others, never giving up on them and always believing in them. Oh, and the project went well. I won the Twin Cities Regional Science Fair in Computer Science, received an Intel Award, placed at the State Science Fair, was a semi-finalist of the Microsoft Imagine Cup, received an Inspiration Award, and received recognition from HP. I now know that my purpose of life is to use my passion of programming to help the world and to make sure I am always there for others.